Greetings. Hello. All right, I announced this live in a video, but I forgot to put a little like sticker that said live, so hopefully people know. um, I've been going live so often that I don't always remember to advertise it, but I'm going almost every night at 6. So, you know, we got a pattern. We did 5 yesterday, though. We tried something different for the East Coasters. Good evening, everybody. Please let me know where you're streaming in from. I always love to hear where people are. And, oh, great. Magic of Somatic Money is here, offering to guest. I love it. Dana, let me wait for my moderators to get here to help me out. They're good at bringing the guests up for me. And I don't know if Iris is here yet. I got Iris, and I might have some other moderators, but Iris said she's definitely going to help me tonight. So she's probably here. And so hopefully, so I've invited a lot of people to guest tonight. And Dreaming Women in the house. That's right, Evie Davis. Long Beach in the house. Love it. I used to run a healing and psychic fair in Long Beach for many years. Oakland. I used to live in Oakland. Love Oakland. Nebraska, Tennessee. And so I invited a number of dreaming women. So we're going to have another panel tonight of dreaming women and dreaming people. And hopefully I'm going to remember the names of the people I invited, because every night when I say, oh, we're doing a panel, then, oh yeah, I didn't do the goals thing. I got to do that. And then all these people come in and I can't remember them all. But I gave my moderator a list of some people that we're hoping to hear from tonight. And all right, I'm gonna add some other goals. Let's see. So welcome everybody. Welcome to my live. We're having a Dreaming Woman panel tonight, Dreaming Person panel. And my great moderator, Iris, is going to help people get into the guest spot. And so you should be someone that I invited. And if you want to be invited and I haven't invited you, then, you know, send me a message. And as soon as I find it, I'll talk to you. Mimi, is that you?
It is. Can you hear me?
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to the live. We don't have your camera yet.
Yeah, let me see. How do I do that? Okay, here it is. Okay. There you go. You can see me.
Hey, hi. So we also have, okay. I'm going to get rid of these gifts. I was trying to do the gifts, but now they're still there. Go away, gifts. Dana's also here.
Oh, that's awesome.
The magic of somatic money. And so I think Iris is going to here she is. Iris is letting her in. And I invited a few people. And so we'll see who shows up. And what we've been doing is I've been having a bunch of women on each time, and like we'll fill up the Brady Bunch boxes, and then after a while some of you will leave and then other people can come in. So let me look at my comments to see if Iris is here. Oh, she must be. She must have let Dana in. Dana, we can't see your picture yet.
Like I hit the join and the accept, like where's my video? Let's see, there's the mic.
You know,
click on your face and then it should show you the like video camcorder icon.
Oh. You'll connect using audio only. No, I want to use the yes.
There you are. Dana's been on my live before. But why did we switch positions?
No. Let's see.
I don't know.
Are we supposed to switch positions, Iris? Oh, and then
I gotta get my dinner. I haven't eaten.
Okay,
I got my chili. I need to get some cheese in it.
Okay, great. We have Mimi here for the first time.
I hope it's okay if I eat while we're on camera. I'm just really hungry right now.
Yeah, that's
Oops.
fine. But let's hear. I'm gonna ask Mimi to talk first because this is the first time I've had Mimi on the panel. So
Yeah.
I'd like to have. So Mimi, I don't. What I was doing the other night was I was asking people for recommendations, and your name came up, so that's why I invited you. And so I would love for you to introduce yourself, talk about what modalities you work with, and then maybe tell us how you got involved in this whole Dreaming Woman 4 a.m. club.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
So I call myself Magical Mimi, and it's a name that actually came from my nephew. He always said I was like magical in whatever way he considers me to be magical. And so for me, I've always been in touch with my intuition, and I've always known that I've had clear senses, and I didn't really like understand all of them for a long time. And after I got my pendulum, which this actually came in the Lunarly box. I don't know if anybody on here had Lunarly when it existed. I miss it so much, but that's actually how I got this. And I got the mat through Lunarly in 2020, and I didn't know anything about it. I looked up on the internet, how do you use a pendulum? And I tried to, use it by, holding it around here or holding it down in the, one of the chakra beads. And I wasn't getting a lot of like movement. And then my guides, because I would ask for my spirit guides, and it was like very clear. They're like, you're constricting me. And I was like, oh, well, maybe I should just hold it at the top, because I was trying to follow what was on the internet, and my guides just didn't want me to do that. So I just listened to my guides and I did that. And the first time that I used it to predict an outcome was actually the 2020 election, and it was right. And I also at the same time asked if I was going to be able, the offer on the house that I put in would be accepted, and it was, hence this house I live in. And so that was really cool. Like those first two big events in my life were were predicted by my guides, and they were correct. And then a major event happened in my life, and I needed to know if what I was feeling and thinking was my intuition or not. And so I talked to my Grammy. I talked to her almost every single day through my pendulum and asked her if like what was going on was real. Like it was, what am I was I imagining it, or is my intuition correct? Because I was dealing with somebody that was very narcissistic abuse. And for anybody that's listening that has ever dealt with that, it really messes with your mind. And being able to ask my Grammy and ask the spirit world with my pendulum, what is the truth? That has helped me stand in the truth. A really good friend of mine, when all of this happened, she just said to me, Melissa, you always stand in that truth, and you don't ever back down for your baby girl. Don't you ever back down, no matter what they put you through. Just stand in that truth. And so whenever I would waver in that, I would ask my Grammy, and she was always very much like, no, you're right. Stand firm, stand strong. Your daughter needs you to stand strong on this. And so I did. And of course I asked about elections in 2022. I live in America's High Five.
I got to interrupt you. We can't use those words.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm under serious attack by TikTok. We can't use the E word. We have to use a lot of code words. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So a contest in America's High Five, where I live. I asked about that, and everything was correct, including the well, you know, the thing about Roe and that what Michigan did. So it was correct. And so I did the same thing for the big contest, you know, a few months ago. And you know, the only thing they said that was wrong was, the one. Everything else was correct. So I was like, that's interesting. And, you know, for like about like 12 hours, I was upset. And then all of a sudden I was just very calm. And I'm like, why am I calm? Why am I calm all of a sudden? So I went to my pendulum and I asked, and I got answers that I put out there that a lot of us have put out there. And I said to my sister, I was like, I really feel like I should record this and put it on TikTok. And she's like, yeah, you should. And so I did. And here I am now. And I also had a lot of time on my hands because I was laid off from my job unexpectedly before I had neck surgery, and didn't and hadn't found a job yet because I was still healing. And so, you know, this has opened up a whole new avenue for me, and to, you know, be able to share my experiences, and especially the fact that I have clairgustance, which for those that may not know, clairgustance is the clairsense that you get taste. You taste like it's a reaction. So for me, when something is like really wrong, or somebody has like deviated from the plan, my mouth will taste like rusty metal, and it's very uncomfortable. And then if something is really good and pure, my mouth will water and taste like fresh spring water. So,
Okay, great. Thanks for sharing. We have a number of people here tonight, and Femme Fatale Tarot. This is her first time here. Actually, I didn't mean to use the pronoun without asking you. So you can tell us what your pronoun is. But Femme Fatale Tarot, can you put your camera on? Are you ready?
I just got out of the shower, so I look a little schlubby. Is that okay?
However you look is fine. I know people are excited to hear from everybody here. And if you want to wait till later, I can have one of these other people talk.
Okay, let's see. I think I've got, there we go. Hello.
Okay, great. It's good to see you. I also haven't had you yet on my live, so I'm excited to have you. Can you also do the same? Can you introduce yourself, talk about your modalities, talk about how you got involved in the 4 a.m. Dreaming People Club?
Absolutely. Let me get a little bit more of a light going here. And the pronouns are fine. I am he, they pronouns.
Okay.
Do I want to be a green person? I want to be a green. Oh, I want to be a blue person today.
Ooh, I like the blue.
This feels right. So yeah, she, they pronouns. Hello. Thank you so much for having me on here. I've been following your content for some time now. You're one of those creators on TikTok where the second you say my guide said, I'm like, I'm in. Like, I'm all in.
I'll tell my guides.
You guys sound like they might even know some of my guides. So my background, I am a professional psychic intuitive, medium and channel. Things really kind of kicked into gear for me spiritually in 2020, like a lot of people, where I started receiving information in my channel that I'd never realized I had the capacity to receive. I never thought I would be that kind of person, I guess, which sounds really weird now. But I do mostly intuitive readings. I do a lot of evidential mediumship. I do a lot of work with my team upstairs. As far as my connection to the 4 a.m. club, like all of you, I woke up, I think, sitting up, like sitting straight up and almost out of breath. And the dreams that I was having at that moment were, you know, those kinds of dreams where it's not like a defrag from your day. Like I was in another portal. I was in a dimension. I felt like I was just somewhere else. And I woke up from that knowing that something was off. And I saw a lot of people in the comments saying like something felt wrong, like something felt like a bad chiropractic adjustment is the best way I could describe it. So since then, I've just been trying to kind of level with my own community. I have a subscription service that I've had for about like 4 years now, and just kind of work with the incoming energies. And you know, we're in this time of the age of Aquarius, which is so full of twists and turns and the unexpected, not always bad either. So I've basically just been working with colleagues and friends and community members to just ride the waves and to continue to aim our intentions to the places we want to be and to just generate the feeling of hope as much as possible, because hope is always there. And it's made me really sad to see people not recognize that it's right behind them if they just reach for it. So that's a little about me.
And I just learned how to move the boxes around, so so now I can move people into the spotlight when I want to. You know, every time I do a live, I learn something new. Like I usually have one. I had one guest. Now I started having a few guests, and now look at us today. We've got 5 at once. So great to have you here. And we got Sky Girl here as well. I know Dana is still eating, so I'm gonna let you go last, right, Dana? You still eating?
I took a break.
So you want to go now?
I can go now.
Okay, just the same thing. Introduce yourself.
Okay, so yeah, and I want to do a shout out to Magical Mimi. I mean, it's so awesome to see you, Magical Mimi. I've been wanting to connect with you, and like there were 3 connections there. There was the Claire Gustance.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going through a Claire inventory with a new client, and we came across the Claire Gustance thing, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever experienced that. And so it's so great to hear firsthand how you experienced that as a thing. So that's very cool. And then the whole narcissism thing, I totally get that. And there was you're a fellow dowser, a fellow pendulum checker.
Yeah.
So like you're standing there talking about, I pendulum check this and how I feel about that. Like I got through the loss of my son with my pendulum because I had this whole like Durango, they're like, you need to go to grief therapy. And I'm like, yeah, grief therapy is not going to handle Star Nation, talking with spirit team. And so I went to my pendulum to like ask the really personal, emotional questions. And then I could hear channels coming through. Like that's how I got through the loss of my son. And I was talking about that in a video recording about pendulum check. So man, you hit all the points.
Oh my God, to hear you say that, like, oh my God, I'm like fangirling. So thank you.
Well, I'm kind of fangirling back. And I like, thanks to Lisa. I mean, Lisa's just so awesome for bringing all of us together. I was driving to town to do my dog walk. Like I do different dog walks in different places with Peanut. And I was driving back from dog walk and I was totally having this dialogue. And it's like, only Lisa would be the one who could bring all of us together. And she's just so amazing with this community thing. So I was sending you a whole bunch of good vibes at noon today, Lisa.
Are you talking to me or to Sky Girl?
I'm sorry, Jennifer. Like in my mind right now, it's Lisa, but it's Jennifer Lisa Vest. I am so sorry.
So I'm Jennifer Lisa, and then Sky Girl is Lisa. And yeah,
I'm channeling both of you right now.
And you're kind of right when you say Lisa, because although I'm the one that's been gathering the dreaming women on my lives, Sky Girl, aka Lisa, is the one that had me on her live first about over a week ago. And I had done a live before, but I couldn't get moderators. It was my first time. It was kind of wonky. And I had not gone back to doing lives. And then Sky Girl invited me onto her live, and I enjoyed it so much. We just laughed that I decided the next day to start doing lives daily. So Sky Girl is also responsible for this.
Oh my! So a kind of like psychic Freudian slip in the right direction, then, right?
Right?
Because that's all I kept seeing was Lisa. But so that's both of you.
Yeah. So let's
yes.
also bring her up. So we're gonna have everybody introduce themselves. So let me move these boxes again. Okay. All right, Lisa.
Hey, everybody.
Sky Girl.
Hi. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, but we can't
see
you.
I'm actually driving.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I'm taking you out of the box.
Oh, that's right. You can't do that. That's right.
I can
forgot.
still have
Okay,
you talk, but it's boring to look at when there's no one there, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's a weird picture too.
Okay. Oh, but now I don't know how to do it. What happened?
Oh,
Oh,
I
so
actually don't know how to do that.
I know how to move other people, but I don't know how to move me back into the box.
Oh,
Okay, hold on. Shrink. There we
there
go.
we go.
I figured it out. Okay, go
Good.
ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Lisa.
I,
Tell us
I'm
your
so happy.
intro.
Okay, but I just want to say I'm so glad that you came on the live because seeing you live, I feel like a live doula. Because when I first started going live, I started telling everybody, if you ever are nervous about going live, come on my live, and then that'll get in. There's been so many people that come on my live and then they go off to do live, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, so my name is Lisa. I'm a filmmaker, and for me, the day of the contest, I actually voted in. I'm a California resident, but I'm staying in Arizona, kind of both Arizona and California, because that's where I grew up helping my mom. So I actually had to drive back from California after voting, and right when I got home is when they announced, they called it like so early, as we all know, and I just started shaking, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And I fell asleep because I was so upset. And then when I woke up, and I don't know when it was, but hours later, I just had this knowing that he will never, the tangerine will never be in the white kitchen. You know, it just was never going to happen. So, is that what you want me to talk about? I got here a little bit late. So that's the intro of my gifts or.
Yeah, intro your gifts and how you got involved with the Dreaming Women, aka 4 a.m. Club.
Okay, so yeah, so that, and I'd been called to go live and build a community on TikTok, and I was kind of resisting it. But then I was like, all right, let me just try this. And I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I didn't know if I was going to talk about filmmaking or, my experience in the entertainment industry or spirituality, dreams, death, because I have a death talk podcast. So I don't know. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. So I just talk about everything. And then when the contest happened, I knew I had to talk about, my first video was on the 7th where I said, maybe the psychics and the astrologers aren't wrong. Maybe the whole thing was stolen. And so that video did really well. But then it just took off from there. And I just been talking about it. And for me, I think mine is just a knowing, like a claircognizant. I don't know how I know it. I just know it. And I know that he's not going to be, that's it. And coming on live, a lot of people, I was nervous because I lost a lot of people who were supporting me before, which is weird. I don't know why, but whatever, it's okay. People who maybe like tangerines, I guess. I don't know. Not me. But through that, I found a whole new community of like people that it feels like this is what I was meant to do. This is why I was led to TikTok. And it just feels so big. And then when I saw you, Jennifer, Lisa, I was so excited because I was like, right when I saw your first video, I was like, I can learn so much from you. I just felt it. I was like, you're who I want to listen to. And so I was like, I want to bring you on and, for my audience. And then you did. And then the rest is history. So excited.
Yeah. Thank you so much for doing that. So we have even more dreaming women waiting in the wings to join us. But I want to hear from everybody one more time before we switch out some people. But I want to have as many people as we can get on here. I should introduce myself in case people don't know who I am. My name is Jennifer Lisa. I go by Ethical Psychic, which is the name of my book. And I actually didn't sleep the night of the election. I stayed up all night, but I wasn't watching it because my sister had said turn off the TV early in the evening. So let's go to bed and we'll look in the morning. And so my sister went to sleep and I couldn't sleep and I was just up all night. And then sometime in the middle of the night, like 3 or 4, I said, I just have to go check. And because I just have a really bad feeling, even though there was no reason to think that was going to be the outcome. And I got the news and my first reaction was horror. And, did I forget to use the code word? I think I did. So the night of, so I just launched right into my story. So this is for entertainment purposes only. And so at first I was kind of panicked and looking at, digital nomad visas and talking about to my sister about what countries we were going to move to. And I did that for a few hours and I still hadn't slept. And then finally I fell asleep the next day. And when I woke up from that nap, I felt totally peaceful and calm and I was no longer worried. And I did like a complete 180. My sister was like, I thought you were all upset and talking about leaving the country. And I said, no, never mind. It's going to be fine. My guides have told me that this is not the actual outcome and it's going to be revealed and it's going to be changed. And I thought I was the only crazy person with this idea. And then I went onto TikTok and was just really just looking for anyone else who was picking up the same thing. And I found a couple of people, and that emboldened me to get on here the next day and start posting. And I just started posting, look, this is what's happening. This is what my guides are saying. And I've been doing it every day since. I'm a psychic medium. I'm a medical intuitive. And I teach everything that I do, and I write books. And, my guides have really just been urging me to promote as many dreaming women as I can. So that's what I've been doing, trying to promote everybody's accounts and also to bring them onto my lives so that more people know about all of us and that we can get the message out. Because, oh, wow, I'm distracted by this news.
Oh,
wow.
No, I'm seeing stuff in the comments. I'm trying to look it up online to see what I can find.
Yeah, and so let's remind people that we want to be careful what words we use. I know sometimes we forget. I think I just forgot just because my account's been under serious threat for a long time, and I we don't really know what all the words are that we're not allowed to use, and so we just try to avoid a lot of them. And just what I do is I tell stories on my channel. I tell stories and I use character names. And so like there's the joust, and it was between the Naked Emperor and the Lotus Queen. And then I talk about the 7 thieves who helped the Naked Emperor finagle the joust. And the main one is Rasputin. Another one of the main thieves is Starboy. And so this is how we talk about this. If you have your own characters in your own story, go ahead and use those. We'll all figure it out. So I wanted to ask a question to the panel. And so Intuition Influencer, I see you there. I do want to invite you up, but I'm currently at my max number of guests. And so we're going to let these folks speak for a little while, and then I'm going to bring you up. She's in Canada, and I know we have some other people waiting in the wings. So I wanted to ask a question to the panel. I want to know if anybody has anything they want to share about information you have gotten this week or recently. Like, what is your most up-to-date information? And of course, people can also go follow you and watch all of your videos. And I do want everyone to follow all of these people. But in the meantime, let's get a little synopsis from each person of whatever you want to share about the joust or the state of the world or whatever you think is important right now. Let's start with you, Mimi, Magical Mimi.
Yeah, I gotta run, so my spot will be filled in a moment. But one of the things that I actually got after the manifestation circle that I had was, it's done. You can rest, be still, be joyful, and just trust in spirit and the deities that it is all well. And I made a video right before this, and I'm going to post it later about that for everybody else. But we just need to just trust at this point and not worry about what we are seeing with our eyes, and we need to trust this eye. So that's what I've gotten.
Thank you. And thanks for joining us. I know you're busy with your own events, but it was good to see you here.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be back when I'm done. Hopefully you're still going, and maybe I can join in. So
right, because you have your event now, and so come back. Yeah, come back if you have time.
I will. Thank you. See you all later.
Okay, and Iris, you can feel free to let someone else in on the list. There's a list at the club. Who else wants to answer that question?
I actually have to skedaddle pretty soon too. So if you guys don't mind, I'll offer that that other person can then take my spot. And if you're on tomorrow night, I will be way less in my pajamas to talk a little bit more if you're still going to be doing this. I just want to offer you guys, maybe it's just because my guides are who they are. They're really telling you if you're in this kind of upswing of hope, of energy, whether it's the energy of what's going on with the other application that we are all at from a different country, that sort of joy, that sort of collective resonance that we're seeing, that kind of zany Aquarian energy of the unexpected, making us all kind of unhinged and feral. And I don't think I've ever seen so many people laughing until they've cried on TikTok at the same like I was telling the story. I have a couple of friends who aren't on TikTok who I swear just live in different realities at this point. Just trying to explain what's going on. Like I had to put my phone down because I couldn't keep it together. I was just crying, laughing. And this isn't the first time I've laughed so hard that I've cried, even though what it looks like is very intense and people have every right and they're valid in their feelings of whatever fear. But I'm telling you, this is a comedy. They keep telling me this is a comedy. And we want to, like, you got to check your sense of humor because the more you laugh, laughter is very, very high vibrational. It's very, very healing. And it literally can move you into different frequencies and timelines. So for the next week, especially, lean in to where that feeling of unhinged, sort of silly, playful, joyful community energy is. Find out where it is in your body. Center in on it. Breathe life into it. Imagine it emitting from you and going into others with their consent, with their higher selves' consent. Like just feel this because this is possible. What I've been seeing was people being at an ultimate low, despair, despondency, lack of hope into the complete opposite in about 5 minutes. It takes that much time to jump a timeline. It takes that much time to direct yourself to where you would rather be. And especially when we all do it together, and especially with this whole rise of the feminine kind of bringing this energy into this beautiful, ripe place. I want you guys to be excited as much as you can. Honor your feelings. There's nuance here. But yeah, I'm so here for this. I'm so here for this, you guys. Like, I can't emphasize that enough.
That's wonderful. Great message. I'm so glad to see you here too, because I have been following you for a while, and so it's good to have you here. And I hope you do come back if you have to go early.
Definitely. I would love to. If you're doing this tomorrow, I will be in tip-top shape, and I would love to share space with you folks. The energy is immaculate here.
Thank you. I'm glad. It's our guides. They're all just taking care of it for us. I've been so incredibly fortunate. My experience here on TikTok, I haven't gotten bad comments. I haven't gotten hateful or bots or whatever, things like that. I haven't had people fighting in the comments. Everybody's been really lovely. And yes, the vibe check is amazing. It's what Kaylee says. I agree. So thanks to all of you. So thank you so much. And let's hear from, we have a new person in the room, Leia. Can you turn your camera
on? I don't know how to.
Okay, I know everyone's had to figure it out. I think you could try tapping yourself.
Okay.
You should see a little camera.
Yeah, it's like saying that access is needed to go live. I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay, but the moderator didn't the moderator let you in?
Yeah.
Iris, do you know how to fix this? Iris is my great moderator. I mean, I have a couple, but Iris is the one that's here every day. She's the one that's been letting people in for me.
Mm-hmm.
You should have access if you're in my little box. But okay, so it says camera. Can't turn on the camera.
Yeah.
Because you're the one doesn't have access. Oh, you don't have access. You're right. That's weird.
Weird.
Okay. I'm gonna let someone else talk until we figure this out.
Okay.
And maybe someone in the comments can help me. Not enough followers to go live with camera. Oh, so maybe it's your account. You
Gotcha.
need
Okay.
followers. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you know what? We're gonna we're gonna have you speak anyway. It's just I took you off the big box because it's people might. Well, I guess they can still see your little picture. I can put your little picture back on the big screen. Okay, so you guys just have to put your glasses on to see Leia. So Leia, do us a favor, introduce yourself, tell us what your modalities are, and also how you got involved in the 4 a.m. club or the Dreaming Woman club.
Okay, so my journey started when I was just a tiny tot. No, no, I've always, I've always had very vivid dreams. I've always had the gifts of,
Oh, I'm going to interrupt you. Sorry. Someone just
no,
got a great suggestion. If
no.
everyone in here follows her, she'll have camera access. Nona, can everyone follow Leia real quick?
Thank
Just
you
an
guys.
idea. Let's everyone try to follow Leia, and then maybe in a few minutes she'll have a camera.
Hell yeah.
Okay, go back to what you were saying.
Okay, so yeah, I've always had psychic, vivid dreams, ever since I was a child. But they were suppressed, of course. So my gifts kind of re came back when I about 10 years ago, and I went to a shaman for some healing, energy work, and she gave me all of these messages, and she was like, "You don't know how powerful you are, but girl, you about to find out." And I said, "Okay." So I really went down the path of learning more about witchcraft, about anything and everything I could learn about spirituality. I just dove into it. Um, I think it's all fascinating and it all has a merit. It all has, whatever. And I, um, I guess my modalities is I'm a channeler and like a astral traveler. I don't know. Sorry, I'm nervous. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Take your
And
time.
yeah, so I know everybody can astral travel, so it's not like that's a special thing, but
No, everyone
I
doesn't know how to do it consciously.
that's true. So I learned how to do it, mainly, but mine, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of gifts that I've mastered in past lives that were just coming up to the surface in this life. So it felt like everything came really naturally to me. And then I had a tarot business a few years ago, but then I got pregnant and I didn't want to have that energy in my I didn't. It just felt like I needed to just kind of cocoon during my pregnancy. Um, and probably about a year and a half ago, I started attending healing circles, like goddess circles, where each month we talked about a goddess and how to work with the goddess. Very, very healing. And then my gifts started coming back to me. Um, Funny story, I lost my job 6 days before the election. And um, it was sorry, can I say election? Is that a fine?
Yeah, we're trying
Is
to
that,
avoid that word too.
oh, sorry.
Joust, contest, any other word.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, my bad. Okay, so yeah, before the contest, and literally the next day after losing my job, it was like all of my gifts that I had been kind of suppressing because I just had a lot of stress and motherhood and all of that. It just all came back online and it was very overwhelming. And this was November 1st that happened. And after that, it was like every single night I was having these vivid dreams. And I remember going to the contest and I just felt I felt such joy. I felt so good. I felt so powerful and magical and just we got this in the bag. there's just no, I mean, I'm getting like full body chills right now. Like there was just like there was nothing you could say could make me believe that we weren't going to come out on top. And I, because of the contest in 2016 that really wrecked my mental health, I did not follow the news. I didn't follow anything. I like didn't go on social media, none of that. Like the whole entire day, I was like, what will be, will be. I know in my being that we are coming out on top. And that night, I had like, I had a past life dream. And um, the past life dream that I had was me and my partner and our child. It was like the Civil War of America, back when the Civil War with the 1800s or whatever. And we were in this like apartment building that's like right where we live um, currently. And like our child was looked different, but like me and my partner looked the same. And everything, when I looked out the window, it was all, destroyed. There was destruction. There was smoke, and there was all of these things. And I was just like, okay, so we did everything we could. We turned off all the lights because people were like looting and robbing homes during this time. And it just gave me very much like zombie apocalypse vibes.
Mm.
And I remember we were just enjoying dinner, the three of us, with the lights off, and we heard some noise, and we knew that somebody was about to come break into our home. So we went into our hiding spots. I had our child with me, and my partner went into another hiding spot in another room. And this person that was coming in, he is actually somebody that we know in this lifetime, which I found interesting. And he was, robbing us, whatever. And my child was like call me mommy or something, like made a sound of some sort because like he's a toddler, so they make noises. And made a sound, and that guy found us and was like trying to rip my child from me. And my partner came in and just like knocked him upside the head, and he was knocked out, whatever. We went to this closet we had that was just like an armory. Like we had all of these weapons that we could use. We had like, what are they called, like bulletproof like vests, like sort of thing, like, but in the like 1800s style, right? So it wasn't like modern day, it was that time. And then we looked at each other. I strapped my child to my chest, and we looked at each other, and he said, "You ready?" And I said, "Yep." And we had just like come out, and we're just like, weapons ablazing on people, and we're just like fighting. And then I woke up, and I looked at my phone for whatever reason. Like I don't normally do that whenever I wake up in the middle of the night, but I did, and it was 4 a.m. And then I got the nudge to check on the contest, and I was like, man, this ain't right. um, I was like, there's no way. There's no way that this happened. Like something is really, really off here. And so ever since then, I've just been working with my guides. I feel like maybe a few days after the contest is when I set up my business again. I rebranded. Now I'm Veil and Vision Oracle. So um, I was like, I wasn't sure about getting TikTok. And then my guides were like, go on TikTok, go on TikTok. You got to do it. Like, you need to go. That's where people need you. And I said, okay. So here I am.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to take you off the main screen. Enough people followed you that you should be able to turn your camera on.
Let's
So you might want to check it again. And So now let's go back to we were asking people to share what new information you have for this week, or maybe your latest post, or just anything new that you want people to know. So we have a lot of people in the comments cheering for Dana. So let's have Dana speak next.
That's so kind. That's so sweet of everybody. Thank you. I feel like I was just anchoring space, holding space for everything like that. That's what I was doing there. So two thoughts. Because I was so into like talking with Mimi, I forgot to do this. How I got into the dreaming thing is that I'm somatic money coach, the magic of somatic money founder and coach, and Spirit Team has had they've had me in a whole nother round of spiritual boot camp for 2 years. I was in my platform, really never made it over 500 people on YouTube. I was at 250, and I think here on TikTok I was at 450. And I was lucky to get 250 views a video, and Spirit Team cued me in this fall, and they're like, there's this huge thing coming and we need you to be ready. And I'm like, yeah. You guys have been telling me that for 2 years. I don't know if I believe you. But then the whole election thing happened, and I was a lot of you, I'm like, Kamala's got it. Kamala's got it in the bag. And I woke up, I don't know if it was 4 a.m., but when I woke up the night after the election, I woke up and I knew before I even put my hand on the phone that Trump had, the T-Man had won. And then I did that dip, I definitely did a dip. And when I came back from that, I knew I would I put out a couple videos talking with Galactic Federation of Light, and they were like, it's all going to be okay. And then for some reason, I put out that Friday video of what the psychics saw. And I thought I would be lucky to have 500 people view it. That bugger, it went over 300,000 people. And that was kind of the start of me weighing in on this. And that's when I was running my pendulum and checking in and talking with Spirit. And all along it's been the lady in blue, the lady in blue, the lady in blue, right? And so as of right now, we have gone through, we've gone through weeks and weeks and weeks of confirming what we all know to be true. And then my messaging took us into a place of Spirit Team, 1 week they're the big D man, he's done. Don't even give him any more. Don't give him any energy. And then after that, there's been this whole wave of messaging of it's time to prepare. It's time to prepare. It's time to prepare. This past week was the whole thing about, the dark clouds are coming, psychic attacks are potentials, stand your ground, hold your light, be in that space. And then the new thing, you're asking, Jennifer, Lisa, you're asking about the new thing. And I recorded it today. After I get off here, I'm going to do the editing on it and put it out as a video in the morning. But the last 24 hours, there's been this whole tectonic shift in messaging from Spirit Team. And at this point, they're go within, go within. It's hold this insulated space, go within, be in your sacred feminine, feel that bubbling white light, gold light, whatever color of light, but there's really a feeling of feel the sacred feminine bubbling up from the earth, hold that space and really feel that insulated area around you. They're not even calling it cocoon, because cocoon means hunker down and shield up. This is more hold that bubbling space, that insulated barrier, have Spirit Team around you, and just move in that mobile way. And there's a feeling of keep all that news distant. Keep it distant. Don't be attached to it. Don't go down rabbit holes, because you're gonna float through this thing with that bubbling sacred feminine energy, and land on the other side. And there's a feeling of like, do not engage the storm. Like, do not engage the storm. Stay in that sacred feminine bubble. You know our bubble pots that we have in our house, those fountains that bubble up from the underneath, and that, like, that's what it feels like. This whole bubbling up, sacred feminine, white light, gold light, insulated barrier, spirit team floating through, and we come through all that. Not to say it's going to be bumpy, but probably will be. We're going to come through that and land on the other side and be in that new space, and that whole, to me, there's this whole energy of like Pluto's really bringing out humanitarianism, and we're seeing that transformation in Los Angeles right now. They're not even out of the fires, like what you guys are going through, Jennifer, just like a whole lot of compassion for you. And like, I can't believe you're holding lives in the midst of that going on around you right now, right? So, but there's this whole focus on our turning on a dime humanitarian connection. And Spirit Team has really been talking to me a lot about, if it doesn't have an anchor of humanitarian roots in it, it's probably not going to make it. It's probably going to be cleared out. And so I think we need to keep all of that in mind. So I don't know, that was just a whole stream of thought, stream of consciousness, but that's pretty much what's been going on for me, like that tectonic shift. It really is like this morning, I sat down in my meditation chair and there was like, this was what was coming through. And I really feel, and there was another sensation from Spirit Team of like, anchor this in before the storm starts. Like they're like, you have a chance now while it's like somewhat calm to really anchor this in and feel it and really get that imprint through your body before it all begins. The other thing, God, every time I get up out of my chair, Spirit Team is like, they're right there and like, they're like, Dana, when it begins, it starts happening fast. And they just keep repeating that to me, and to the point where today I was like, okay, I got the message. When it begins, it's going to happen fast. So there you go.
Okay, thank you. So for people who are just joining the live, I'm Ethical Psychic, aka Jennifer Lisa. And
Jennifer, I'm about ready to lose battery power in my phone, so I gotta go. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for letting me be here.
All right, good to see you, Dana.
Bye.
And what we're doing here, everyone go follow Dana. What we're doing here is a panel of dreaming women. I've been doing these every night. And so for those who don't know, throughout the country, and some women are also in other countries, people have been dreaming since the electrical storm about the joust and been dreaming about how the outcome is not the way it appears. And we've all been getting, you might want to turn your microphone off, Nina.
Oh, sorry. What's that mean? Sorry.
Yeah. And so people have been dreaming about the state of our realm and the various things that we're enduring. And so I wanted to bring us all together. So I've been bringing different people on each day. And you probably recognize a lot of these people. If you don't recognize someone here, follow them. They're all giving readings or information about what we're going through. And it's all really helpful. And so I've been asking people questions. And the most recent question I asked was, what is the most recent information you got that you want to share with people? So information that's relevant to, say, this week. And eventually we're going to take questions also, but we're still in the first part of the live where I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk about what they want to talk about. And I don't know, there's noise. So people who, if you're when you're not speaking, turn your mics off, okay?
Oh, I wanted to just quickly say, I think I'm going to go into an area where it's going to get dropped pretty soon.
Okay.
So I just want to say one thing. Is that okay?
Yeah, you don't have a camera. You can't put your camera on?
No, because I'm still driving.
Okay.
In the car.
Okay.
Because I'm literally like 2 seconds from losing the service, but I'm obsessed with this. This is such a great live. Thank you for doing this. I just want to suggest to everybody, write down what you're experiencing right now. Write it down or make voice notes or something. This is history in the making. As a storyteller myself, a filmmaker, like, you don't know how important this is going to be later. Write down things that are happening on a daily basis. Do screen recordings. Like, just try to record it, because you never know, a filmmaker might reach out to you on TikTok and ask you to be part of a documentary about the dreaming women and all the other beautiful things happening here. And that's all I'm going to say for right now. And then I'm going to see if later on, when I get situated at the hotel, if you guys are still on, I'll pop back on. But thank you very, very much for having me on here. And I'm listening. I'll just sit in the car and listen, but I'll pop out. Thank you, Jennifer, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa, aka Sky Girl. Everyone go follow her. She also does a number of lives. She has another live this evening. So if you, after you're done with us, if you still want to keep going, you can go over to Sky Girl's live. Let's hear from Kaylee. We haven't heard from Kaylee yet. And so Kaylee, the first thing I'm going to have you do is introduce yourself, talk about your modalities, and talk about what your journey has been with 4 a.m. Club, Dreaming Women, The Joust, etc.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm not sure if my microphone's on.
We can hear you.
Perfect. Okay, so when we say woke up at 4 a.m., literally that was when I woke up to all of this. I think as a kid, I had some pretty heightened abilities, and I think to the point where I was like manifesting shadows and scaring myself. And my family is not terribly interested in the occult and the paranormal. So they're like, oh, it's just a bad dream. Don't worry about it. And it was so strange because most of my life I've like just known things. Like, I think it was Thailand that had that very, very bad tsunami. And my parents had wanted to go on vacation there. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I don't think that's the right place for us to go. And literally, it was at the exact same time that tsunami happened. And it's just been stuff like that for my whole life. And after this contest, I, like you, Jennifer, Lisa, I couldn't sleep the whole night. And I took the day off to kind of just rest. And I have a toddler, so I'm sick like every other week. And I was just getting some rest. And I was not called to look at it at all, because I'm just like, I don't need to worry. I know how this is going to go. And I could not sleep. And that morning I woke up and I like was just looking at it like, this is not right. I don't trust this. In my gut, this is not real. And I stopped thinking about it for a while. And then I got drawn into TikTok again by my gut. And I saw Gia Prism there. And I'm like, wait a second. Psychics. That's really interesting. Tell me more. And I am an analyst at work, and I love to dig in. So for 4 days straight, I like watched TikTok, and I pulled together all of like the interesting little details. And I think that kind of flows into my clairs of claircognizance and clairaudience, and just like these little like bugs in my ear saying, you got to go for it. You got to go for it. And the more I dug in and understood it, the more my clair abilities started manifesting. And it got to a point where one day I just said, okay, I'm ready. I'm scared, guides, but I'm ready. And all of a sudden, like, I started getting these yes and no with my head of saying like yes or no answers to questions. And I've been having like every single divine feminine deity reaching out to me and giving me messages. One of them, I even had a bunch of them say, this is the divine feminine and y'all need to do this. So it's been a wild ride for the last 2 months. But what they're really trying to say to me is, if you are not following what is bringing you joy, you need to do it, because that is what is bringing your vibration up, the vibration of everybody around you. And it is going to cement you into this higher timeline of doing what brings you joy. So that's really, it's been very nice.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, we want to still hear from Nina, and please follow everybody and send them gifts and whatnot. And I did invite Intuition Influencer. She was here earlier, and then she couldn't get on the panel because we had too many people. So we invited her back. I did invite Spirituality with Sam. I invited a lot of people, and so people are going to come if they have time. And if they don't come tonight, maybe they'll come tomorrow. Okay. So eventually, hopefully, everyone will be here. It's going to be a big party. Okay, Nina.
Hey, I am going to unplug my. That was that. See, I did it again.
Uh-oh.
That was the racket.
the
I was trying to
drama.
get my my phone plugged in for a minute before I ran out of battery power, and then I just am learning the technology. It's so fun.
Oh, and we lost Kelsey.
Where'd you go?
Looks like Kelsey's gone. I don't know. I don't know where they went.
Well, maybe they'll come back.
Okay, they come back, Kelsey, if you want to.
I really like.
We have
like
a
their
couple
energy.
boxes.
Yeah.
And we got Intuition Influencer here. Thanks for joining.
Hey, awesome. So I'm Nina, and we're just introducing ourselves and talking about our
Gifts, yes. And then you can answer the other question, I guess, when you're done, which is, what new information do you have for the people?
Yeah, that's why I actually wanted to join, because I got a beautiful download like about an hour ago, and I posted it, but I wanted to share it here too, because it was one of those ones with big chills, so it was really neat. So
Nice.
my name is Nina, and I am a somatic, internationally certified somatic healer. So I help people process past experiences that are stuck in their nervous system. And at the same time, I am a neuroscience-based empowerment coach. So we use different kinds of therapies and modalities to create the self and the life that we want to create. And, we are a nervous system, we're a mind, and we're also our higher selves. And so I also help people to uncover their gifts and just really get into alignment with why they're here and understand the spiritual aspects of themselves as well. And I've been, ever since I was a little kid, people used to call me Mama Nina. So they would come to me with their problems and I would help them. And I felt like, even back then I was giving advice beyond my years, something that a 13-year-old or whatever wouldn't possibly be like, well, have you thought of it this way? And then, I did a bunch of things throughout my life and came back over the pandemic. I came back to just wanting to be able to help people and support them. And I started coaching people to recover from emotional eating because I had done it myself. And what I found was, as I was working with people, I would start, I'd say something and I'd be like, where did that come from? That was such a good thing to say. I wonder where that came from. Or I'd say, does this have something to do with your dad or whatever it was? And they're like, how did you know that? And I'm like, I don't know. And so I started to realize that I had intuitive gifts. And so, it's funny, and it'll be in the thing that I read, actually, looking back at the breadcrumbs, all of these things that led up to this amazing phenomena that we're experiencing with the 4 a.m. Club, this amazing thing we get to be a part of and be, the front line of love and light in this time and bringing the new earth online. Like, oh my gosh, wow. But so with my clients now, I do private clients, and I had already started using, some tarot, other modalities. I would channel with them, source. I always write on the top of the page when I'm working with someone, move me out of the way and give this person the information that they need to see themselves as you see them. And so I found myself channeling more and just, looking off to the side and just stuff pouring out of my mouth that was really helpful for them. And I was like, oh, okay, that's part of what I do. So then, fast forward to the joust. Same thing. I woke up and, first I was in a complete panic. I'm like, we got to get our passports. We got to figure out what we're doing, and then I don't know exactly when it switched during that day, But all of a sudden I got really calm and I'm like, no, I'm going to be one of the helpers. I'm here to be one of the helpers. And so I did, like I bought a bunch of cookies and took them to our LGBTQ plus center and said, I'm here, we're going to be okay. I can offer nervous system regulation. And I just went into this service mode right away. And
Right.
I was watching it, I think it was on Instagram, and Spirituality with Sam came on, and I had never seen her in my life. And I'd never really even seen like psychic anything. And I was barely on TikTok. I was kind of trying to use it to promote my, like neuro work and the somatic healing work or whatever, but I wasn't really using it much. And I noticed that she was channeling too. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. She's channeling stuff for the collective. And then I can't remember exactly what the moment was, but I got this, I guess, gosh, what did you call it? Elise, the intuition influencer, the narrator voice came in and said, it's time to tell the people. It's time to share with the people what you're receiving about how it's okay. This is not what it seems. There was some skullduggery. We, like it's all going to come out fine. And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I should do that. And so I came on to Instagram, and I wasn't really getting a lot of responses. And then I was like, oh, what about TikTok? So I came over here, and same kind of story where I was getting like 200 maybe views on my videos. And then I don't remember what the first one was, but I made a post about it. I think it might have just been like a download. And then, again, it blew up. People were really, wanting to hear what I had to say about it. And then I saw people using their pendulums, like Magical Mimi. I'm so glad she was here. Like Magical Mimi and some other people. And I had not touched my pendulum in years. It honestly, the first time I used it, it kind of freaked me out because it was the first time that it was like, this thing is moving and I'm not moving it. Right. And it just was too disturbing for me because I couldn't really understand it. And so I pulled it back out and I was like, wait a minute, if I, do some protection stuff and whatever and get in touch with my guides who I'd gotten to know at that point, why not? They could talk to me through this. Let's see. And so I started using it and I was like, oh my gosh, it is them. It was them then too. I didn't have to be afraid. And I started using it to get information for myself and then saying, do you have anything to share with the collective? And I would download questions that I felt like people were asking and then check it with the pendulum and start posting those as well. And I do tarot, I do automatic writing. I'm also a witch and I do, ritual stuff and collective energy building things. So that's me and that's what I've been doing. Oh, and I also share meditations. I've been a spiritual traveler. So I spent time in Buddhist temples and Christian church and synagogues and was a Taoist and everything because I was just really interested in finding out like what these things were all about. And so I think that really also, as we look back at our breadcrumbs, culminated in me being able to serve anyone from any background and be able to speak that language to them because it's all the same language.
Nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning how to play with these boxes. I want to have like more than not instead of just one big one and a bunch of little ones. Like if we have two big ones, I know there's a way to do it. But let's hear. I'm going to expand you. There we go. Let's hear from intuition influencer, aka Alisa.
Hello, hello.
Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, sorry, I'm distracted because it looks like Iris gave us a bunch more boxes. So maybe we have more dreaming people coming.
Those are all my
I
imaginary.
invited a lot of people. We'll see. I don't know who all is here. But go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny, Nina, I feel like you're my sister from another mister. Somebody commented today, and when I saw you, I never mentioned this, but when I first saw you, it was jarring because I felt like I was looking at myself. Like, I don't know if people see, and one person said it today, but I see it. Doesn't matter. We all have our own reality. I see such a resemblance. And what was your response to the comment, which was so lovely? It's like, we are all.
Yeah, because I remember yesterday too, Jennifer Lisa, you said that I reminded you of your sister.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's because we were all sisters before we came here.
Right?
And we
Yeah.
came here as one, this is part of the whole plan. Is
Right,
that
the
we really,
synchronicities, they are everywhere.
yeah.
And like I still have to remind myself because I'm relatively new in my journey, right? But when there is a coincidence in terms of a name or a face that looks familiar or whatever, now I just go, okay, Spirit, tell me what I need to know. And you just said what I need to know. And actually, it was funny. We were talking earlier, Jennifer, Lisa, and I made there was a typo. What did I say? The word not, Knot, came out. I'm like, that just appeared out of nowhere in the middle of the sentence. Like it wasn't like I misspelled a word or it autocorrected. And you said something as well about we are all knots in the same tapestry. And I'm like, look, there were no mistakes. Everything is happening exactly as it should. Everything is flowing because this is the divine feminine. And so, yes, I'm really happy to be here, and I making notes as you spoke, Nina, because when you talked about the intuitive coaching that you do, the intuitive work that you do with people, that's exactly the experience that I have had once I allowed myself to do it. Like once and I said this last night, like I came out and it took me coming out as an intuitive, as like an intuitive, not just an intuitive person, but like this is who I am. And that all happened thanks to the 4 a.m. or the 3 a.m. club. So I made it very similar to you, made a post, it blew up. And that's when I thought, oh, and I remember, and in my ear, the narrator voice said, people need hope. And of course, the leadership consultant in me was like, hope, I don't know, hope isn't strong enough a word. Maybe it's faith. Maybe it's anyway. And that was my left brain. That was the part of me that was still trying to fit into the corporate world. But this, as soon as I let go of resistance to to who I am, then everything flowed. So while I would have characterized myself as a very weak leadership coach. Like I did great workshops. I was a TV host in a former life, so I love to stand in front of people. I love the material. I love to empower people. But the coaching did not take off until I allowed myself. Like I did this beta testing thing and called on a few former clients and said, would you be open to these modalities? And those modalities being the emotion code, which is a form of energy healing that removes trapped emotions, releases trapped emotions due to trauma, and Psych K, which also relies on neuroscience to reprogram limiting beliefs. And it just kind of made sense. And these women that I called on said, absolutely. And I knew they were the right women because, drum roll, I use my intuition. And so I've had the same experiences with them where I'll say, hold on, wait a minute, that's a pattern. Did this happen with, and they'll be like, how did you know that? And it's really fun because so you take that to a therapist, it would take you years to get there, right? But it's just one of those things that we dreaming women have. If you had a therapist who's a dreaming woman, that's going to be some pretty powerful stuff, right? Yeah. And so, so it's been a beautiful journey for me. I'm looking to see what I can say to add to what Nina said. Automatic writing is something that I tried a few times, but again, before I really allowed myself to just be and gave up that resistance, it was those little episodes were few and far between, and I didn't trust them, and I wasn't sure what was real. But basically, what I've been doing since I'd say the beginning of COVID is gathering these little tools, these little bits and pieces. Yes, the pendulum, the muscle testing. The muscle testing was supposed to be for the energy healing, and then I started saying, well, hold on. Can't I use it for this? And using muscle testing to ask what I could use it for, realizing that the power was within me, which is such a beautiful thing because, especially with my journey, because in the last, I'd say 9 months, I've been doing some past life regression work, realizing what my core wounds are. And it all had to do with, this will surprise nobody on this panel. Hello. This will surprise nobody that my core wound had to do with men usurping power from me, or my perception of men taking power away. And the whole flip side of it, when I finally got well, nobody's ever fully healed, but the big healing piece was, I've had the power all along. I have had the power all along. And the pattern in this life with my career in television was, he took that position away from me. He did this, he did that. And then I was like, no. I allowed it. I gave my power away. I gave my power away. And so this, of course, this joust called me, right? Of course, this is my core wound playing out in real life. I
Right?
mean, the characters, I couldn't be any more perfect, right?
The
So,
abusive male candidate.
yes, exactly. He's kind of the amalgamation of all of those dudes, all
Right?
rolled up into
Yeah.
one. And, so I
Our
have
Dune
done that
character.
healing work. And so, yes, I can actually speak all of their names without even the naked emperors without being triggered at all. So it's been an absolute joy to go
Thank
through this
you.
process. Yeah,
I
thank you.
wanted someone mentioned in the comments that I had asked Nina also to talk about new information, and she said she has something new
Yeah.
she wanted to share.
I do. And also, I just wanted to touch on this, just those synchronicities. Like everyone, okay, so shameless plug for my Patreon. But I wrote this morning about the 4 a.m. Club and the phenomenon of the 4 a.m. Club to document it and also just explore it a little bit. And I did a whole paragraph describing the Claires. And how many times have the Claires come up in this conversation? And that hasn't happened yet, right? So for people to know, like, because there were people who woke up with a sound, or like someone in my comments said, I kept hearing my alarm going off, but it wasn't, or weird taste in their mouth, or, the feelings, the knowings, the seeing, whatever. So I just thought that was a really cool little synchronicity and really interesting. So I had a automatic writing download because you were just talking about that. And I was just sitting here and I was trying to ground, because the energy today, I'm a mom with 2 teens and life is happening and I've been kind of running around, but I've had this shaky feeling. And so and I know it's excitement. It's not fear, it's just excitement, but definitely have been like, okay, I want to ground, keep grounding, breathing, asking my guides to help me ground. And so I was sitting here and I was just really quiet for a minute. And then one of the ways that I get downloads, sometimes it's just the narrator voice or, whatever. I love that, by the way. I'm using it forever. That's amazing. But sometimes I'll get a chill up my spine. Like it's literally like whoosh, like this really intense chill up my spine. And I was just sitting here being calm and relaxing, and I got that. And I was like, whoa. Okay, do you have something to say? Right. And so it was a writing thing. So I decided to grab my pen and a piece of paper. And what I got was, breathe. Nothing is what it seems. There will be public stories and private stories. And none of these stories are of your concern. Right? Your concern is your heart, your breath, the ground beneath you, your vision, your paintbrush. Your experience is dependent on your light, what you illuminate like a flashlight in the dark. Choose the flowers in the vase, the candles, the pillows, the plants, the stars out the window. Flash your flashlight out your window to your friends like children used to. Find each other in the light and laugh. Look up. Star Family is playing too. And then I saw, like those scenes in the movies where like the hero is like walking all like determined through and with confidence and everything's like blowing up and all crazy around him, but it's like slow-mo and he's just like, so I saw that, right? As you walk through with focus and determination and confidence, grab the hands of those reaching out. Once they enter the stream with you, they will understand they could have stepped out on their own all along. Sound familiar, Alisa? Vision bearers and bridge builders, all the worlds support you. All the beings are with you. All time, all space are with you. And now you look back at all the experiences that led you here and laugh at how it all makes sense. We have always been with you, and you are never alone.
I love it.
Pretty cool.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, and I got this hit while we were talking about how cool it would be for all of us who are in the chat or just, here to go back and look at those breadcrumbs I started thinking about mine, like, did this start this and that lead to that? And, like this is it's one culmination, and I feel there will be more. But how did we get here? Like, there's even for those of us who in the 4 a.m. club are like, I never had any, psychic gifts before. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. They're either there. I mean, I feel like they're there for everyone.
Yeah, of
You just
course.
gotta, tap into it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know that Alisa, you also got some new information today.
Yeah, it was something else. I'll tell you. Speaking of it had the chills, it had the narrator voice, it had all the things. It had everything. It was that character on Saturday Night Live. It's got everything. Anyway, it began in the early morning, like it was sort of 5. What? No, actually, I was up. I'm always up at 5:30 now. Any of you who are up, let's do a live then. And so anyway, I was at this. I found myself at a party, and with my daughter, which is interesting. She's 18, and we were walking through this party, and I realized quickly this is the house of a couple, friends that I've known my whole life. Oh, I'm starting to get chills as I recount it. I've known them my whole life. I did not haven't seen them in a while. They've been out of touch. So it's kind of weird. I'm at this party, I don't see them, and I start talking to people and I start meeting people, and it's really interesting. There's more details that I didn't share in the post today that I'm remembering now. There were women with these masks on, and I was kind of scared of them, but then I looked and the mask was off, and they were just lovely, and they had things to offer, and one of them was an artisan, and another one was someone I had worked with at a workshop, and another one actually ended up cutting my daughter's hair in a beautiful style, and I was like, this is so lovely. But where are Lisa and Fred? And they said, oh, well, they're celebrating their anniversary. But they had this cool idea that we could all just have a party ourselves while they're off celebrating their anniversary. It's like, well, that's lovely. I haven't seen them in a while. I hope they're well. They're like, oh, yeah, they can't wait to see us. And so, on we go. And then I thought, there's not many men here. The only men that were there is one guy that was trying to chat up my daughter, and the other guy was retching in a bathroom. And I was like, he's not handling this party thing too well. That's awful, but kind of funny. And so I came out of that, and as I am coming right, like something woke me up immediately, and the narrator voice in my head says, this is how they fall. I'm like, this is how they fall. Okay. So I knew who they were, all the players that we've been talking about. And so what I was trying to figure out, I said, okay, so the couple that we haven't seen before, again, I could figure out pretty quickly, was the Lotus Queen and the coach. And muscle tested that, yes. And then I said, so are those of us having the party just all of us, like people who are wanting this to happen, who know something? And it was like, I kind of got a weak yes. And then I just lay there in bed, and the chill went right over me when I said, it's the dreaming women. It's the dreaming women. Full chills. The dreaming women is how they will fall. Take from that what you will, but it was just so powerful. And of course, came from the heels of our lovely live last night and all of the excitement that came from that. But there was power and electricity in the air with all of us last night, which, is undeniable. And we all had, and I heard from some people who were watching this live last night who had similar visions in our meditations too. I envisioned the Lotus Queen with a white, like ivory white suit. I had this very specific image. And someone messaged me saying, I saw her in a white suit, which I thought was very, very cool synchronicity. But yeah, the power is undeniable. I don't have to convince all of you on the panel. I think you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing dream. Thanks for
Cool, huh?
sharing.
Yeah.
Trying to move these windows around again.
And didn't you, Jennifer, Lisa, didn't you have something you said today about how you record yourself while you're sleeping or something? Because there was, like, I had the same thing. Like, I know I had dreams last night that were significant, and I've been so exhausted that I was like, I just remember it. Of course, you never remember it. So can you speak to that? Like, how in the world do you remember your dreams? help?
Yeah, so I get information in a couple of different ways. The main way I get information for most of the posts that I do on here, I get from, is that Gia? Who is that? I can't see. Um, the main way I get my information is I go into a deep trance. I go out of my body. I think, was it Leia that was talking about astral travel earlier? I go out of my body and I go to other realms and talk to different guides, teachers, angels, ancestors, etc., and get information. But sometimes, instead of doing that, I just say to my guides, "Oh, just come to me in my sleep, and then I'll, give me a dream because it's less work for me."
Yes.
And then I'll keep my phone by the bed or a notebook, and I'll just wake up and just start recording. Just, right? Whatever. And I get some good information that way. And so, yeah, that's one way. It's just, if you just start writing down whatever, you think of when you first wake up, you will actually start getting information. And sometimes, I'll do that and I don't remember what I said, and I'll be like, oh, that was probably gibberish. And then what I do later is I go and transcribe it. I have a transcribe app. I transcribe the recording and then I read it, and then I'm like, oh, there's some good stuff in here, which I have no recollection of. So yeah, that's just another way to get information. So let's take some questions from the audience. And we got Leia back. So Leia did not have camera access before because she didn't have enough followers, and we got her enough followers that now she has camera access. How many followers do you have now, Leia?
I think I have at least 600 the last time I checked.
And
So
how many did you have before you came on this live?
like 250. So
Awesome.
like
Good job, people. Good job.
like I'm so
This is one of my
grateful.
personal missions, is to get all these dreaming women bigger followings. So if
Yeah.
you're not already following anyone on this panel, go and follow them. And all right, let's see what we got in terms of questions tonight. Kenolani, Kanoe okay. I know I'm getting it wrong, but I'm trying to do a good job. Kano Ilani polls. Are you ladies seeing anything about Martial's lawn being enacted? And be careful about the wordage, right? Martial arts, you might say. Are we going to be seeing any martial arts? So that's a question.
Um, uh, Wait,
Go
can we
ahead.
just? Oh, okay, cool. So my guides yesterday were just kind of giving me a lot of instructions on preparing for something big, and I really didn't know how to share it. Like I shared what I could on my page yesterday because with ethics and being a psychic and intuitive, I mean, there's a delicate balance there, right? You don't want to people to be scared. So my guys were telling me to tell other people to be prepared, to get things that, support your hobbies because you might be spending some time indoors. That's what I feel comfortable sharing, at least. I don't know
Okay,
if that was
great.
helpful.
Great. Yeah, thanks for sharing. Anyone else want to answer that question?
Yeah, I actually just pendulum checked it right now again. Um, and yeah, I do see that. And but I don't see it being like, I think people get hung up on the definitions of these words.
Mm-hmm.
Like they imagine it like the movies where it's like, stormtroopers marching around, it's not that. It's just, it's more of a shelter for safety. There might be some upsets to certain yeah, I'm being careful too, Leah. I'm like, but there might be some upsets to get water. Make sure you
Yeah.
have like some water, and you have
Yeah.
one of those cool kits that people have in their homes with flashlights and things like that. And it's just something that people should have. And I'm not a big date person. I don't like that because people get really hung up on them, and then they're like bracing for the thing, and it's just be prepared. Just have some stuff because we're in a weird time, my dudes, and you can tell I have teenagers. So, just just have stuff. Things are unprecedented. So, just have the supplies that you need in case these things do happen. But I very much feel like it's for safety. It's, I checked, we will be able to go to the store and get food. It's not like, work might look a little different for a couple of weeks, school, things like that. But I think the biggest message that I've gotten is to share with the people, because I did it earlier. I did a pendulum read on this earlier, is just share with them that it's not as scary as they think that particular enactment would be.
Yeah, that's the same message that I've got too.
Let me respond also. I haven't been getting anything about martial arts in particular, but I can tell you that I'm in Los Angeles and we're dealing with all these fires for more than a week now. And we're also dealing with people being arrested for setting fires. And so I know that they did set up some curfews in certain neighborhoods, and they did that because they were trying to catch the people who started this. And so, some people might perceive that as an infringement of their freedom, that they couldn't be on the streets after a certain time. But it was only in certain areas where these fires were getting started that they did this. And so it just kind of made me think about this whole fear that we have about martial arts, and how in that situation, I felt safe knowing that. Because if you're in so a week ago, I started saying, that I actually couldn't say it on this app. I had to go to YouTube and say it, that I suspected, I was getting very clear guidance from my guides about the connection between the fires in LA and the Seven Thieves. All right, Starboy, Naked Emperor, Rasputin, and the whole gang. And I actually found 5 other dreaming women who were all getting the same information. And so I felt confident posting it because there were at least 5 or 6 of us who were all saying the same thing. But nobody else, I couldn't see anybody else saying this, especially not on this app. And so I was like, I was still wondering about that. Why aren't other people saying this? And of course, a couple of us dreaming women who got that information were here in Los Angeles. So of course, if you're here and you're dealing with this and it's impacting your family, like it is me, then it's more on your radar, right? But now in Los Angeles, everybody is saying that. Everybody. Like, I went to Home Depot and the cashier was saying it. I had some friends over and they were talking about being in some other group of non-psychics. This friend said to me, it's not just the psychics, everyone thinks this. And so now it's kind of like a common belief in Los Angeles that this is what happened. And still I was like, well, I still want evidence, right? Because as psychics, we get this information, and then it's nice if we could also get evidence from other forms of knowledge besides intuitive, right? And so just the other day I saw an ABC, I think it was yesterday, an ABC News story that said that federal agents from like 4 different agencies, including ATF and a bunch of others I didn't name, were all investigating the start spot for the Palisades fire. And so very clearly they think it's, arson, or they wouldn't be doing that. If it was a wildfire, there would be absolutely no need for that. If there was any investigation, it would just be the fire investigator. So, I was kind of, both sad, but also heartened to see that the dreaming women were right about that. So I just wanted to add that. I'm not seeing, in terms of that question, I'm not seeing anything really bad happening, but I am seeing the possibility of some minor disruptions that might warrant having some emergency supplies on hand. The same thing that you would expect with an earthquake or a hurricane or a flood or a fire, the same kind of supplies you would want to have on hand. So let's find some more questions. And Iris, are you pinning any questions for me? Are you still here, Iris? And maybe I have some other mods, but Iris has been super reliable. So let's see what other questions we have. Are you seeing ships showing themselves? So yeah, let's talk about the star beings. I want to answer that first because I got some information about that just a couple of days ago. I speak to the star beings among the many people, the many guides I have. Some of them are star beings, and they told me over almost 2 months ago that they were surrounding planet Earth, and it wasn't until a couple of weeks later that we started seeing all these orbs. But they came and told me they were coming. And so just recently, just a couple of days ago, I asked them, hey, what's the status, because we could use some help. Because one of the things they told me last week was tell people if they want our help, they have to ask for it. We can't just show up and interfere. I see someone saying, let Omar up. I did ask the moderator to let Omar in, and I don't know, she might be busy.
There he is.
Oh, okay, she just let him in. So don't worry, he's coming. This will be our first male dreaming woman. So we have a little variety here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I'll let you go ahead and continue.
No, we're going to bring you up after I'm done.
That's
Put your
totally
mic
fine.
back
I'm
down.
gonna mute.
Thanks for being here. Let me just finish this story. So what they told me recently is that, so I told everyone, ask for help, in meditation or telepathically, however you work, ask them to help us. And then I checked in with them a couple days ago, and they showed me all of these large ships landing all over the planet, but landing in these kind of hidden places, like the Grand Canyon, or these places where geographically or topographically they could hide so that people wouldn't see them. And I said, oh, why are you hiding? And they said, because humans are very warlike. So we gotta lay low. But then they showed me all of these people getting out and then joining us. And they were people that looked kind of like us, but not quite. And they said, if you look too closely, you'll notice that we don't really look exactly human, but we can pass. And so they're kind of doing this slow rollout, in a very kind of tepid way, so as not to alarm people, of just sending these very human looking beings out to kind of blend in with the community. So that's the most recent information I've gotten. Anyone else want to answer this question?
Yeah, I actually got a message from them on the 11th, which really soundboards off of everything that you said just now, of just like, because I channel with the Palladians, and essentially, some of us who are really, really excited about this happening have already asked for their help. Like, come on, like we need some assistance, pretty please. But they said that they need more people to give consent. So the more that you can connect with that energy, it doesn't matter if it's the Palladians, the Arcturians, or it doesn't matter. They're all here to help us, and basically they need us to co-create with them. And it's kind of like a vampire, right? You gotta like let them in. You have to give them permission. That's like the vision that they showed me was. So they said that you can either do this as far as like connecting to their energy during like meditation, or if like, because I'm a witch just like Nina, so you could do a full-blown ritual if you want to, but really they just ask to connect with their energy and be like, hey, come help us please, because they're ready, they're locked and loaded.
So I had a kind of funny one. So I'm in Montana, and we have these beautiful big skies, and I have seen ships, and we've had these experiences. I work on film crews. My other job is being a special effects makeup artist, and trying to get out of that. And so we have been out in the middle of a field and seen, not stars, and they're moving in zigzags and they're whatever. And we've seen these beautiful things. And, we'll go into the towns and we're like, yeah, we saw these weird lights in the sky and they kind of did this zigzag and zoop. And, that was so weird. And the people at the cafe are like, oh, yeah, that's just the aliens. Um, and so I'm like, I want to, why, come on, orb, where are you? I want to see Orbeez, where are you? And so I was going to bed and I was like, I just want to see you. And this being showed up over by my window that I could see through, and female-ish seeming, beautiful, like electricity almost shaping. Oh gosh, it's hard to describe. But she was like, I'm just gonna say she, but she was like, it was almost like she was made out of blue electricity, if that makes any sense at all.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she said, "Really?" And I cracked up, and I could feel that she was laughing too. Like it was totally like she was joking with, like, "Oh, really? You want to see me?" Mm-hmm. Anyway, so yeah, it was just great. And then I was like, "Can I talk to you though?" Like, like I'm not freaked out at all. And at that point, she had faded. I wasn't looking at her anymore. And I was like, "Can I talk to you though?" And she was like, "Anytime through meditation, we're always here. And it's the same thing. Ask for our help. We're here to help. Ask for our help. So many of you are almost ready."
Nice.
My experience.
That's a great message.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. I want Omar to, I was still trying to play with these windows. I want Omar to introduce themselves, and if you could talk about what your modalities are, how you got involved with the Dreaming Women, aka the 4 a.m. Club,
Got it.
and
Can you hear me
let's
okay?
start there.
Awesome.
Huh?
Making sure you guys can hear me okay.
Yes.
You're a little
Awesome.
quiet.
First of all, I just wanted to say hi.
Oh yeah, can you turn it up a little?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Is that better? If you
Yeah.
need me to go more a little, I can. Is that better?
A little. Nina's saying higher.
Okay.
You have a soft voice.
How's about this? Is this better?
There we go.
Yeah.
Rock
Awesome.
star.
First of all, I want to say hi, Nina, and hi, Alyssa.
I'm such a big fan. I love you.
No, you guys have just been so lovely to me. I'm a claircognizant. When I was very little, I had a best friend that lived next door to me. His name was Andy, and he would be Superman, and I would be He-Man, and we would play. I am gay, by the way, in case y'all didn't figure it out yet. But his mom invited me one night or one evening to go to Chuck E. Cheese with them. This is in the 80s, by the way, because I'm 46 this coming March. They invited me to Chuck E. Cheese, and it was raining, and I didn't want to go, and he was pouting, and he was mad, and he was at my doorstep crying, and I didn't want to go. They went, and he came over to play with me later that evening. We played with our toys, and everything's fine. Next morning, while they were supposedly at Chuck E. Cheese, right? The next morning, my mom came as I was getting ready for school, and she let me know that Andy had been unalived in a car accident. He was playing with me after that happened. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, Mommy, like, he was just playing with me, and she had the gift. Her mom had the gift. My niece had a gift. One morning, she was singing Jesus Loves Me to a step-grandmother that she had never met that had passed away 4 years before, or 3 years before she was even born. She's 2 years old singing this song to the closet, and I'm like, who are you singing this to? She goes, the lady. I'm like, what lady? She points to a picture of my step-grandmother that when she was like a young mom. She'd never met her. So it's in my family. I guess I'll talk about, 2016, I'll talk about that. Ever since then, because I was talking with Jessica Cakes yesterday on just video chat. Ever since 2016, something has just felt wrong in the timeline. Just something has felt off, not correct. Like it was tampered with, fooled with, messed with. And I started realizing my gifts again in 2017 and starting to use it for light. But then I started practicing black magic in 2018 because I got assaulted and I just leaned into the dark because I was just so angry and I lost my way for a long time. And then I went sober from alcohol in July of 2018. And thank you. I know. So it'll be 7 years this coming July. And I got into counseling for complex PTSD because I'm in Texas and I'm gay. Need I say more?
Right.
And, you know, I was very, very happy when Joe Biden won, right? And cried tears of joy. I remember how upset I was about J6. And we fast forward and things improved and things got better. Leading up to the contest 2 weeks before, I hadn't felt any anxiety because during the pew-pewing in July, all my friends started freaking out and saying, oh my God, Joe Biden's definitely going to lose now because this is going to be, I said, oh, I took a step back. I'm like, he's not going to be running against Joe Biden. He's going to be running against her. Mm-hmm. And my friend's like, what? No, he's not. Shut up. No, you know what you're talking about. And 2 weeks later, she's it. And my friends are like looking at me, and I'm like, I'm telling y'all. And I was overcome with joy until the 2 weeks before. Then that same feeling of like someone stepping on my chest and pressing and like just pushing on you, that feeling came back. And I hadn't known that feeling for 8 years. And I'm like, they're going to try something. I knew it, that they were going to try something. I'm getting ready for dinner the day of the contest. Everyone's already going to the polls. I've already done my part because I did early. And I was going out with a guy, and while I was getting ready, I had a vision, a download, so to speak. And the first download was, he's going to be announced as the winner. That was the first download. The second one, though, was not him greeting his adoring crowds, going rah, rah, rah like that. It was him, like he was like looking down in shame almost. And you could just see, like, you know, whenever somebody's looking down, there's a bunch of lights, you see that their face is shadowed. The next download I had was Couch Commando. That's what I call him Couch Commando.
I call him the mole.
Well, there we go. Boom. And I saw him at a podium, but it was not the podium of VP. It was the podium just doing an interview. It was like, you know, those clear plexiglass ones with a little microphone. There was a flag and another flag, but he's talking to the press about something. Mm-hmm. And I woke up 4 a.m. And I woke up and I went downstairs. I don't take my phone to bed. I think that's bad feng shui. I think that's bad energy. I went downstairs and I looked at my phone and I was not surprised. There was no anxiety because I was like, not this time. And when, you know, a couple of my best friends called me and they were like crying and I'm like, y'all, They're like, are you crazy? I'm like, what did I say? What did I say this last summer? It was going to be her. Y'all need to believe me. And literally, I have not, every time I get a little pinch of anxiety, and you know what that pinch feels like in your heart, like a little bug biting you, there's a blue wave that washes up over me from my gut that takes that away, that takes away that pinch. Because I know we're right. But more than that, like, growing up, like, my mom had the gift, but she quelled it. My dad and my stepmom are ultra conservative, evangelical, Southern Baptist, conservative Latino parents. So it's none of that other noise from them. And you know how they feel about people like me anyway. And so finding, like, it was Sam. The first one that I saw was Sam. That led me to Gia. That led me to Lotus. And it just kept going and going. And then Alisa was the first one that added me. And then Nina. And, you know, I've been following you, Jen Lisa, for quite a while. I also follow Rosie and Karina.
Yeah, they're great.
They're so great. But all of all of you are so wonderful because it's not just about community, it's about we know. And literally, aside from those couple of times of pinches, like, oh my God, it'll be like the Atwood novel or it'll be this bad thing.
Right?
Every time, literally there's this, it's like this tiny little horrible, badly built sandcastle on the beach. And this wave just comes and washes it away. Every time. It's because it's like, and it's not here in my heart, because anxiety sits here, right? And then here is where your logic is, and your intuition is your gut. And it just comes and takes it away every time. And when I started seeing the messages from Lotus, like coming through emails and stuff like that I would see, I was like, oh, oh, it's that. What made me so sad is there's another creator, and her last name is the same last name as the 8th month of the year. She uses a red-headed like filter, glasses, and I know she's got the gift, but she's terrified to use it, and it makes me so sad. And her first name is the same as the pop singer Grande, and I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. She's got the gift, but I know what that fear feels like. And so what I want to say to the chat, I know what that fear feels like. I know what uncertainty feels like. I know what anxiety feels like when it comes to this. You're not alone, but more than that, hope is not something that you can just buy from DoorDash and it gets delivered to you. It is something that you sit with in patience and in peace, because it doesn't happen on our time. It doesn't happen, because that's the other thing is I see people going in y'all's like comment sections, and I'm sure some of you have seen my responses to them. Like, I'm so sorry that this platform and this entire web that we've been using through the digital age since the early 90s has made you so accustomed to getting what you want right now. But you're not going to get it right now. You can't just order it on a streaming service. You can't have it sent to your door. It's not just going to be like the TikTok shop where you can buy candy. Sorry if I shouldn't say the name of the app, but like, you're not going to get it right now when you want it. It doesn't come on your time. And all of us, whether it's me, like a claircognizant, or an intuitive, or a healer, or a seer, or a psychic, or a pendulum reader, or a tarot reader, if you pay attention and you look at all of the unified messages, there's your hope, ladies and gentlemen. The unified message. There's your hope. Because every time I even try to look forward into the future and see him there, I don't see it.
Yeah, none of us do. Thank you, Omar.
I appreciate all of you, and I love you all so very much. I love you guys.
I'm
Nina.
so glad that you could come. You're our first dreaming person who's in a male body, and I've been so I was really excited to find you, and it's been great hearing from you. But stick around. I know we're almost up to 2 hours. I'm trying to move these boxes around again, but I keep.
I don't know. I'm big now. I don't know what happened.
I don't know why. Who's big? Who's big? Who's small? I keep pressing on the boxes, and here we go. So I'm going to try to go back over here just for a minute, because I wanted to piggyback on what Omar said. I've been doing lives where the title was, hope is the evidence of things unseen, and which is from James Baldwin. And James Baldwin kind of modified something from, I think, Hebrews or someplace in the Bible. But this was James Baldwin's kind of take on it, and one of my favorite writers. And I think we're all being challenged to occupy the space of hope. And although there is a lot of evidence out there, as Omar pointed out, there's all of us, right? There's all of these prophets on TT and on YouTube and on all these apps who have been saying this. So we do have that evidence. And then we have these journalists like Empress CJJ and Raw Cognizance who have, and that data person with the glasses, I forget her name. She's so good. Anyone know? She's got these kind of big glasses and she does all the data analysis. We've got,
the piano player, right? She's like
piano player.
Yeah.
If anyone knows her name, drop it in the chat so people can go follow her. Piano girl. Nicole plays piano. Yeah, her. We got all these people like this who are also gathering the empirical data for us. And so we have all the intuitive data from all the seers, and then we have the empirical data from all of these journalists. Kind of amateur journalists. And so we have all that, but we still don't have like what we all want, right? Which is something definitive. We don't have someone up at a podium saying, this is what happened, the joust was finagled, and the true victor is Lotus Queen, right? We're still waiting for that. And it's challenging to keep waiting and waiting. I have been feeling, very excited this week, feeling like, something's going to happen. And of course it has to because we're up to a deadline. But it does feel like something's about to break.
Can I offer something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
Along with all of what I've been sensing and it calming me, he would not have given the 2016 blue candidate that medal. When he did that, that was the sign for me. Because I think she did a massive service to endure all of the mistreatment that she did in 2016 and before and after, basically being put up to be the WHIPPING girl for that entire red team that was turning into what it is now.
Right.
Joe Biden would not have given her that medal if she went up there and did a service to help set up what I believe is the greatest bee buzz in American history. And I'm trying to speak in code, but I'm very logical, and I don't know if people can tell. I use all my parents were educators, so I have a logical spoken word, but it's weird when you see both things. And I saw one other thing that I wanted to say before I stopped taking up all the airtime. Lotus Moon shared something about being a bridge, and that really sent it for me because there are some of us, my algorithm shows me both the people who have lost hope, and they're very sad, they're very scared, they're very afraid, and then it's connecting me with all of my sisters and brothers on this side. So I'm seeing both, and I'm basically saying hope is not something that we can just click our heels together and have delivered to us immediately. We get hope from listening to people who are feeling the same thing. And I love Lotus Moon so much. And by the way, for somebody who asked, my pronouns are he, him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I also wanted to address another question that was in the chat. Somebody asked, what's the update on the 7 thieves? So people who are following my story, I refer to the finaglers as the 7 thieves. And what I've seen for quite some time, I was told that Starboy would be stripped of everything. And what do we see today, right? We got some exciting news today about about this 3-letter agency that's pursuing a lawsuit against Starboy. I was also told that Naked Emperor was not long for this world. And I'm now seeing other dreaming people on here saying the same thing, that the health is very much declined and there's an expiration date that's approaching. As far as some of the other thieves, we've got Rasputin. There are some dreaming women on here who have said that he's going to no longer be in power shortly. And I don't know if any of you are picking that up, but I've heard some people say that, and that felt very true. Oh, thanks for the reminder, Evie Davis. The meditation. I always do a meditation. We haven't done the meditation. So we should probably do that. But real quick before I start the meditation, do any of you want to add anything about any of the thieves that you're picking up this week?
Does anyone follow It's Me, Darian? He is a black man. He's a fantastic creator. He's always lighting up the Red Hatters in his lives. He's fantastic. But he has observed that Daddy Dumpies, that's what, and then one of my other favorite creators, Melanin Pisces Queen, calls him Daddy Dumpy Pants, but basically says that he has a black hand, that he's got black hands. And that's always a tell of tremendous sickness. Usually liver is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I have gotten that too because people.
You got liver for which person? For
Daddy
Naked
Dumpy
Emperor?
Pants. Daddy Dumpy Pants, yeah.
Dumpy Pants.
Yeah.
What did you get, Nina?
I have also gotten, because people are asking all the time if he's going to have bracelets on, and I'm like, nope, he just won't be here anymore. Because I've been getting the same thing, that he's just not long for here.
Okay, so Melby's reminding us that Avidia also said the Emperor has poor health. I also recommend people follow her. I invited her as well, so hopefully she'll join us one of these days.
I love Vina.
Excuse me, I have to go because I have to take my kiddo somewhere, and I'm also running out of battery power. But it's been lovely spending time with you. Thank you all so much. I love each and every one of you so much.
By the way, I want to say, Nina, and you and Alisa, you guys were sisters in another life.
We were talking about that earlier.
Are you freaking kidding me?
We were talking.
The two of you were sisters in another in a prior time, and I thought that literally the moment I saw both of you, I was like, oh, they were sisters once.
So I love this. Somebody in the chat is saying that Rasputin had a coup attempt today. I don't know if it's been verified, whether that's the case, but somebody said that.
It was like news or something. We could look that up. But anyway, I have to go.
And both sisters have to go. I have to hop off too. I've got like a bunch of things I just left in the. Anyway, I will talk to you guys next time. Have a wonderful meditation.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, so we're gonna end the live with a short meditation, and I usually do it in the middle, but today we just had so many guests that we were just talking the whole time. So we're just gonna do a short visualization, and so let's just start with if everyone can mute themselves too. We're just gonna start with some nice deep breaths. So let's just inhale slowly and exhale slowly. Inhaling deeply and then exhaling. And again, and this time imagine you are inhaling relaxing blue light. And the blue light is moving through your body, filling your whole body with peace and relaxation. And now imagine that with each out-breath, you are exhaling gray smoke, letting go of all that does not serve you. And just continue to breathe in this manner, inhaling the relaxing blue light and exhaling the gray smoke. And notice how good that feels. Now focus your attention on the crown of your head and the top of your head, where you notice a tingling sensation in a circle of bright white light. And now expand that white light up into a cylinder and connect that cylinder to the giant golden sun above you. And you recognize this golden sun, for this is your higher self. And as you plug your little self into your higher self, you begin to charge up like a battery. All of that divine source light is flowing down into your crown and moving down into each chakra, spinning and expanding down and around, so that you are now encased in a beautiful bubble of rainbow light. Marinating in this light, you feel yourself expanding, becoming bold and bright and beautiful. And in your expanded state, connected as you are to this infinite support, this infinite source of love, of power, of protection, you are ready to visualize the future. And so you begin to look down the road into the future. And you are looking into the future and you are seeing your future. You see yourself in the future. You see what you look like. You see what you are doing and how you are feeling. You see yourself in vibrant health. You see yourself happy. And you zoom out and you see your family, your community, your people. And you visualize what they are doing and being in the future. And zooming out, you see your neighborhood, and then your village, your city, your town in the future, as you would see them, as you would want them to be. You see them now. And then you zoom out and you see your whole state, your whole province. And you zoom out and you see your whole country. And you see now that people are dancing in the streets. People are so happy. People are celebrating and hugging one another, drinking champagne and sparkling cider, eating cake, patting each other on the back, saying, "We did it, we did it, we did it." And everybody is so joyous and filled with a sense of satisfaction, of righteousness, of completion. And you peek at your television or your screen, or you're actually in the Capitol, and you see the Lotus Queen on the dais with her hand in the air, giving her oath to protect and serve our realm. And you see other things in the future, things that you are sure will come to be. You see the peace, the togetherness, the unity, the justice. And you envision all of those things that you want to see happen. They are all happening. This beautiful sense of unity, of interconnectedness as we respect and recognize one another. We march with full faith and confidence into this great new world. And you just feel into what that feels like. You could feel the emotion washing over you, the love, the joy, the unity, the peace. When you are when you are finished seeing everything that's going to transpire, bring that vision back with you, bring that emotion back with you, and when you're ready, you can bring that back to the here and now. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you'd like, share in the comments what you visualized, what you felt. I gave a few suggestions, but you were encouraged to have your own visions as well. So what did you envision for the future? I can still feel the joy.
I was like crying throughout, but like not like sad crying.
Nice.
When you had us just kind of zoom out from our state and into the country, I saw the whole country blue. It was all blue. And you know, sometimes whenever my friends talk about their fears or anxieties about the before, what happened 8 years ago, sometimes I think about that and it's crazy, but it just like I said, the wave comes and takes that away. There's no through path for that. And every time I even think about it, I know it's that past trauma. So those of you who fear that, know that I understand, because we've all gone through that. We've all been through that together. And we're going to go through something more beautiful together, and we're creating it too.
Yes.
I'm so grateful for all of you.
Yes, I am too. This is a wonderful community. Thank you for joining us, Omar and Leia, and to all the other dreaming people that joined us tonight. And thank you to everyone who's here, who added their energy to our gathering. I'm planning to keep doing these every night for the next few nights until I get tired. Every once in a while I take a day off because I'm tired and my guides are like, okay, go rest. But you know, I'm not the only one. There's so many of us, and some of the guidance I got today from my guides was that I shouldn't feel that it's my responsibility to get all the dreaming people together on my lives, but I've been trying to do that like everybody, because all of us can do this. We can all gather on all of our platforms and all of our channels. We can all gather the dreaming people, and we can have pockets of dreaming people everywhere. We can also gather in person. I was at an event last night, Feminist Uprising. It's an organization that I work with, an activist organization, and they, without any warning, they asked me to speak at the end of the meeting, and I was like, what? About what? And they're like, talk about, And so I did. I talked about all these crazy visions I've had, and this was not, a psychic group, but they were very responsive and open to it. And this is what I'm being told, this is what we all can be doing right now, is spreading this vision to everybody. Don't worry if people don't believe you. Don't worry if they look at you sideways or say you're delulu. Let them think whatever they want. You can plant that seed of hope, and that can help them get through this time until we actually see the outcome. So everybody, good night, sleep well, and hold on to the hope, and keep sharing your dreams, writing them down. And I was just reminding everybody that I always put the recordings for these lives on my YouTube handle, Jennifer Lisa Vest. So if you want to go catch the whole thing, I've been doing it for a few nights. There's a few recordings up. I will see you all tomorrow, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you
We
so
love you all.
much.